I grew up in a family like that, whereby my dad would be like, "Yeah, I'm the head of the family, so whatever that I say, it's fine." And we were always
You,
head to
you as
head
the children,
because,
you as the children,
yeah, we as the children,
but
because
by you, what do you care? It's your
yeah,
dad.
yeah, too, yeah, too, we
Welcome to Ray Talks Podcast, a podcast that reflects on the global Ghanaian society, the people and their lifestyle. With your host, Raymond. We're happy to have you join us. Yeah, so welcome back again. This is the Ray Talks Podcast. And as usual, I'm here with my guest. I will let them introduce themselves to you, starting with Maya, Miss Maya.
Hi, Mamea. I'm Mamea Chiman. You can call me Maya. I'm speaking from England.
Great. So, great, Andy. Cool. Let's go.
So as he said, my name is Andy. My name is Andrews. You can call me Andy or Andy Co, and I respond to any of them.
Great. Okay. So, on this episode, we're going to talk about family conflict. So, like, a conflict is basically an active opposition between two people. It could be a husband and wife conflict, siblings. You can name them. Yeah. So I think it's very common. It's something that's very common in our Ghanaian society or like the African society. In this case, we will just limit it to the Ghanaian society. It's something that is very, very common. And we're going to look today at some of the causes of it, as well as some of the how it can be solved. And then going forward, I think this discussion is going to help all of us manage such things when it's happening in the future in our family. Yeah. So I'll go to Andy here. Andy, what do you think are some of the causes when it comes to the family conflict? What are the things that you think causes them?
Okay, thank you for the question, and thank you once again for the topic. I find it very interesting, and I feel like to tackle this, there is a whole lot of it's indeed a very broad topic, and I'll try as much as possible to just give my um, information as concrete as possible. First of all, there could be the physical conflict, there could be the verbal, the financial, the cultural, and what have you. Okay, and I feel like for now these are some of the various sites or types of conflict that I can recall among families, especially among the Ghanaian families.
Okay.
Or do I have to explain any of them? Any of some of
Like,
them?
I mean, when we pick up, let's say, the financial one that you're talking about, how does it settle in? How does it cause it, this financial one?
So, among the African community, okay, finance or money is really a very big cause of misunderstandings or, as you said, oppositions among families. And actually, money, is, as they say, is a root of all evil, but not only evil, but also some of the good things that happens also needs money. But um, we talking about conflict, I would say money is the root of all evil. And for that matter, for conflict to step in a family, for conflict to come among relatives, among family members, there is actually money being a problem or a major problem or a cause to some of these. And for example, I would say if I want something from my mom, okay, and my mom is not able to afford it,
Yeah.
now I'm going to have the notion that my mom has the money and doesn't want to give it to me. My mom also doesn't have the money, but she doesn't know which way to make me understand that she doesn't have the money. And for this matter, there is most of the times this kind of, misunderstanding, and it leads to the mother probably getting angry and, using inappropriate words for the child or for me myself. And for that matter, probably I'm going to also say things that I'm not supposed to
No,
say.
but
And then,
if you would ask your mom for money and your mom tells you she doesn't have it, why will you assume that your mom has it?
basically, as a child, we don't think this broad. Okay, me speaking as a child, probably I'm now an adult, and for that matter, I will understand some of these things. But when I was a child, I actually didn't know, or I never thought of how my mom is going to provide me certain things I wanted. All I wanted was whatever I wanted being done. Whichever way it was going to be done, I don't know. But I was just, always expecting it. And it's led to a whole lot of misunderstandings amongst myself and my mom,
So,
as an example.
as much as you're concerned, yours is to get what you want. It doesn't matter if someone. Anyway. So, Maya,
Yeah.
what do you think can cause family conflict?
In a way, I would agree with Andy because most of the times, the conflict, it's all based on money, financial situations in the family. So especially if the man and the woman, there is no transparency between them in terms of money now. It always brings problem. There is always gonna be quarrels. There is always gonna be arguments. So to me, I feel like say money, it's the major problem in the family.
Okay, I will also argue with the point of demonstration of power.
No, wait. Don't mistaken. You asked about some of the causes of
Yeah.
conflict among family members, and then I highlighted some of them, of
Yeah.
which you asked me to explain further. One among the many factors or the few factors that I gave. You understand? So it doesn't mean I'm concluding that money or finances is only the major problem of conflict among families. That isn't what I said. It's not only the very major problem or anything like that, but it's one of the problems, as I said.
One of the problems I see.
Yes.
So, like I said, demonstration of power. Something like this. Most of the times, let's take it from the relationship aspect, like in a marriage or something. Most of the time, I feel there is this demonstration of power, and that's actually can also bring family conflicts. That can also bring family conflicts. But then, why is this so common in the African society?
Okay. Sorry, Maya, for interrupting, but
No, it's fine. You carry on.
so as I think I mentioned, cultural whatever, if I do recall, and among families, or when it comes to families, there is the problem that we all come, or like the major partners of the family, like the mother and the father, the grandfather and the grandmother, they are usually coming from different backgrounds. Okay, they were raised differently, they were characterized differently, and for that matter, they come into a new family, or they join the new family with different mindset, with different way of life, okay, with different cultural background. Now, where I am from, okay, man is always the head. Where I'm from, I came to live in Accra, where women also have power, equal power as men. Now, it was probably because there are so many people in the bigger cities who are more educated and feels like no, there is equality of power among
Both genders.
exactly. So they therefore come into a family, or they come and join up to form a family, and they then share this power. But when you go to where I'm from, my papa or my grandfather is always the head. So he makes the final decisions. You understand? And when, for example, such a man or such a child, or a child like my type, who grew up from such a background, comes to the city and finds somebody who also grew up in the city, just imagine what's going to happen. I would always try to exercise this power I know. I would be expecting this, you know, power that I know was existing in my village, and the the new person, the new partner is probably also going to be a little, yeah, this is not how it's done over here and stuff. And so um, I wouldn't let you exercise all your powers on me, or allow me to also um, decide on things, for the family and stuff. And for that matter, sometimes all these kind of stuff also lead to misunderstandings.
So, like, Maya, this power thing I'm talking about, this demonstration of power, it is something that really affects us, especially the Ghanaians in the diaspora.
Yeah.
It really affects us because, like Andy was saying, most of the times we know men are the head of the family. But when the family is in Ghana, it's okay. But when they migrate here, that demonstration of power in most homes, it doesn't work. Why is it so?
I think that in this century, we've learned a lot and we are still learning. Back in the days, we knew, and I say we grew up knowing very well, oh, the men in the house or the men in the family, are always the head. But in this era, everybody wants equal. So, you per se, you want the same page. We want to be on the same page. Not say, oh, because you are the head of the family, you try to overrule everything. You bet discuss and I say you bet share no. So, and then baby, we've realized to say it's not about exercising your power, but it's about understanding each other and coming into a common term or into a common goal.
Okay.
So these days, women are making their voice heard. And that is where it's conflicting because some men, let me put it this way, some men don't really want it that way. They still want to exercise the authority, say, oh yeah, I'm the head of the family. So whatever that I say, it's final. I grew up in a family like that, whereby my dad would be like, yeah, I'm the head of the family. So whatever that I say, it's final. And we were always head to head
as the
because
children, you as the children,
yeah, we as the children because
but you, what do you care? It's your dad.
We then realized that, oh no, there is actually something called communication amongst each other and then understanding each other. But when the man tries to exercise the authority, no, I'm the man, so whatever that I say is final. No, time piano, there is a conflict in the family.
Okay.
Because yeah, said no. It was your opinion. So and be like, no, the final say comes from me. It's these days, things are not like that anymore. It's still existing, but to me, me who say it's time. It was say so we understand each other, not about exercising your power in the house. Because so we at time, the woman is gonna say no.
Okay, so
You see, can I say something?
yeah.
Let's please not limit ourselves to the men because power is not always being forced by the men. You know, among some of these white homes, among these kind of say African diaspora and amongst you know the females and the women, they sometimes also try to manipulate. Somehow they try to force their will on the men sometimes, and I feel like, you know, that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't limit ourselves to the
Okay,
men
so
only. Yeah.
we will make it a men and women battle for now. We won't do it that. But
All right.
then
All right.
let's look at another picture. We know Africans, we have extended families. I think everything we've been saying now is limited to the nuclear family, but we mostly have extended families, and these conflicts, it can turn out to be something big that let's say cousins doesn't want to see each other. You don't want to talk to your uncle anymore. You know what I'm talking about. What can really cause for an external relation to begrudge the other like that? What can really cause that?
I think, sir, it's like sometimes if there are issues going on in the family, you know, instead of say it will stay between the nuclear family, you know, back home, then ends up taking it to the siblings, then it becomes a major problem because Obiabe try to side with Ononi Nyano.
Yeah.
So it is a kwayasana all the time, no. Makoka, for example, me fan is me no na makoka won was macho before fro. So and then nipa no because say oye me nwan nti no he or she is gonna side with me. Then the issue no becomes very, very broad.
Okay. So let's look at this, especially Ghanaians in the diaspora. You could be here in abroad. You could be here, and let's say your auntie, your uncle somewhere is also looking up to you, because we have a lot of people that looks up to us. It's also looking up to you. Sometimes you might not even be able to live up to the bill and like what they are really asking for, or what they are requesting, like monetary issue. But no matter how you explain to them, they don't seem to understand you. Like Andy was saying, sometimes when he used to be a kid and he would ask the mom for something, the mom will say, "Oh, I haven't got it," but he will assume the mom has it. This is the same thing that happens with some of our family members, like external relatives or relations. Sometimes they will ask you for something you don't have. You will tell them nicely or politely that you don't have, but then they will seem not to get you. They want you to give them what they are asking for at all cost, whilst you don't have it. It becomes an issue back home. Your mom will side with you. Your dad will side with you. Your other siblings might side with you. And then the grudge will become like a family thing between both let's say sisters or brothers or what have you. Why is it that this responsibility always lie on people abroad to take care of their extended family as well, when it's really hurting people to give whatever they want, but they can't? Why do you think this should even be a problem?
You know, once you are outside the country, you know, everybody thinks, yeah, at least you should be able to support somebody. Because people will tell you, oh, Ghana, it's very, very bad at the moment, or things are hard and all that. But we that are outside the country, we are not finding it easy as well. But the facts say, oh, yeah, you are in the US, you are in England, you are in Germany, you are in Italy, you should have it. ɛnyɛ koraa na nti sɛ wo na wote ha sei no sɛ wahu. So in these cases, no, people think that we've got it. And I think that sometimes no, it's the way we show off as well. On our social media, no, the way we show up and we show off, no, people might think say yes, we've got it. But it shouldn't even be a problem, because if you ask me and I can't afford and I say I can't support her, you should also understand.
Okay, so exactly what I'm thinking. Should you, or do you even have to be responsible for, let's say, your uncle or auntie's problem?
No, you don't have to be responsible for anybody's problem. I support when I can.
But it brings about fights most of the times, these conflicts we're talking about.
Why should it even bring conflict? Because at the moment, no, you don't even know what I'm going through. You don't know my situation. The fact that you've asked me does not mean say yes, I have to or I should. Oh, at times we should learn to say no.
Okay, so Andy, external relations, like external family members, they are external, like the word defines them. Why are there mostly issues also with external relations?
So first of all, I think there are a lot of factors to consider. There are so many angles to look at this very issue from. Okay, being it monetary, being it property wise, being it cultural differences, as I mentioned earlier, being it individuals' ways of thinking. Okay, now some of the earth were brought up in a very big families, like extended family. Everybody in the family was involved in bringing us up, and therefore, in certain circumstances, in certain situations, they want to also take part in probably deciding for us, or probably in a very in a specific decision that is probably going on in a family. So I have friends where the mother has the money to take care of the child in a school, okay, but the child didn't want to go to school. The child wanted to learn something else, and the uncle was also deciding, or was also suggesting, that they take the boy to this very type of school. Now, the boy couldn't challenge, because he said if he had denied, they were probably not going to help him. And for that matter, he also just accepted what they offered, or what the uncle suggested. You understand? And so it wasn't actually the will of the boy, but he just did that because the uncle suggested that to the mother, and the mother also believed that, yeah, your uncle is a teacher. He gets, like, plenty experience past we also, like, for them all for believe what they talk about. So, like, them take and go the school where said I want. Where you complete the school, right? They come to the house. They find job. So he checked, like, if he had stood against the decisions of the parent, of the mother and the uncle who is also having a different family elsewhere. If he had stood against the decisions of these two, he was probably not going to be catered for at that very point. And whatever the decision they made for him at that point also didn't help him. You understand? So in so many different circumstances, people or extended families are going to intrude in the families or in the nuclear family's decisions. And I think it's not healthy for a nuclear family, but it's not always what we want. As I said, it's not always what a single person wants for himself, or the smaller family wants for themselves. But as I said, some of the families are also, or some of the people are also like this. Even some of your friends saying, yeah, I don't know if I should say it cultural and as a ethnic groups in the ebi mu enyini, sorry, ebi mu nyini wo extended family, what is there? As I
Yeah.
said earlier, where everybody is part of bringing up the child or a child in the family. For that matter, it doesn't matter how old you are, they will still try to, influence
You
your
know,
decisions.
sometimes, like you said, sometimes growing up, like on the part of some people, on the part of some, because of one or two circumstances, the extended family could be part of the nuclear of a member of a nuclear family's upbringing. Because let's say your mom maybe was a single parent or something like that. Your mom can't take care of you alone by herself, so she might need the help or support from her other siblings. And when this happens, they will always have a say in your life until you are somewhere. And let's say, God being so good, you are able to travel out of the country and they also need your help. They expect you to bring back that favor. And that is when you refuse to bring back that favor, this conflict can also come about. Yeah. So looking at the whole thing, the whole situation, how can it affect a person? Maya, how do you think family conflict can affect a person?
You see, family conflict now is really broad as a super. It affects us in so many ways. To say it brings this disagreement between families, even between you and your parents. It can bring a disagreement between you two. And in a way, they might think that, oh, you've got it, but bear in mind, maybe at that particular moment, you didn't. You didn't, but instead of saying, oh, they understanding you, they wouldn't. But because they have also taken part in your upbringing and upgrowing and all that, it should be a must.
So
It should be a must.
yeah. So, like, how does it affect you as a person? How does it affect you when, let's say, you're a victim of this family conflict? Like, it could be between you and your
There is also,
children.
in a way, how it affects me, when, especially if there is this whole family meetings now, you could see there is bad energy, bad vibes around. It affects you in so many ways, just physically, especially emotionally. You'll be like, where did I go wrong? Do you get it? Where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong for this whole thing to happen? Emotionally, and then the first thing, you'll be thinking, what happened? Why? Just because I couldn't help you at that particular time, does not mean, say, there should be this kind of conflict, between everybody. And there is going to be blame. They may blame you. Your mom or your father will be blamed because, say, you've been able to do something. No, you don't want to help anybody else. I can say emotionally and physically. And then you even sit there and think about yourself. Say, you doubt yourself, thinking, why? Why should this even happen?
So, Andy, how does it affect a person? What would
So
you say?
media, if you leave me, I will talk plenty, but make I
Make
try
no
to
talking,
also
Andy, but
I will try. Make I also try to summarize things. But you see, the thing we say we get like major family to me, there is this major family conflict and there are minor conflicts, okay? And which of them affect people in different ways. Now, when we take the family as a whole, conflict leads to family separation, which
yeah,
is a very bad thing. I have clients, okay, who have lost contact to their own children because there was just a little misunderstanding. They couldn't put themselves together to probably solve it. You understand? And for that matter, they've lost contact to their own children, biological children. Okay, which is very, very bad to me. Apart from the individual effect that each and every member of probably the family is going to get, the whole family probably is going to also be affected in a certain way. You understand? As I said, like, there's going to be separation among the family members. I don't know, but I've realized when we are poor, we are more compactable and we tend to assist each other in a very small way and we are happy among ourselves. But the moment one stands out, okay, to have a little kind of bibi kakraban in summer when the person starts to get something small, I don't know what happens, but the other members, I don't know if I should call it envy or I should call it,
Let's
I don't
say
know.
it's
You
envy and
understand?
jealousy. Yeah.
Sometimes some tends to envy the other people and some also tend to expect too much from them, from the others, and when we fail to, or when others fail to, or those who are up there fails to provide or to satisfy those
Those below.
below, no, then it tends to be BBL. Then I quite say, okay, the few wealthy ones in the family or in an extended family tends to be there, and the poor ones also tends to be there. Now the poor ones will be like, nah, I will not even go to them since he got money, he's been too knowing and stuff and blah. You understand? And then and then
I get what you mean, but sometimes the person in question, the person that has the money or that is wealthy, it's not even thinking the way that you are thinking. You that you are below them, you are thinking for the person. Sometimes it's not even like that. We bring certain things up that were not supposed to be brought up, and all these can cause these problems, these family conflicts and blah blah blah.
yeah,
So I believe we should also stop thinking for people. Well, we will come to how to solve these. But
yeah,
yeah. So this has still been the Ray podcast. We are discussing family conflicts. Family conflicts. We are talking about the what can cause it, and then right now we are going to look at how it can be solved. So I said one already. No one should say what I said. We should stop thinking for those up there. Sometimes they don't have what we are asking. We just assume they have, like Andy assumed his mom had money and didn't want to get what he wanted. So yeah, Maya, coming back to you, how do you think we can solve these things, these problems?
I think people should not expect too much from others because so one expects a lot and you ask someone for help and they tell you know what, you don't feel bad about it.
I'm so disappointed. Yeah,
You don't feel disappointed, but when you expect too much from people, that is where you feel very bad. When they disappoint you, that is where all these conflicts comes in. So I would say, sir, don't expect too much from people. If the person has it and they think, yeah, they are in the power to support you, they would, but don't expect too much from people.
I see. Andy, what would you say?
yeah. Conflict resolution. Oh, this time among families. Okay, so it depends. To me, it's very important that we try to solve problems when they start. Okay, and solving problems means staying calm when the problem starts, because that is where most of the very these are usually the beginnings of the major conflict. You understand, where a very little misunderstanding starts between you and I, and instead of trying to solve it as
Trying to calm it down, you get heated up. Yeah, I get what you mean.
yes, and then we say things we are not supposed to say, and therefore these things start to, like, explode and get worse and stuff. And we should also have these open ears. We should try and listen to each and every one of the family, very well and try to understand them.
Yeah,
We have to calm down and understand each one's points, whatever somebody is trying to bring to a table. We
sure.
should just try to understand it as well as possible, and not just conclude just as we've been doing almost every time. Topic in the chat, yeah, then boom boom. Because I am the head of family, no, I'll not even let you finish speaking or talking. No, that's not the best way to go about conflict or conflict and dispute among families. And again, I feel like we should also try to expect less. Okay,
Like Maya said,
yes, like Maya said, we shouldn't expect too much from people, generally from people, not only from our relatives. It turns out that people expect too much from people, and when they fail them or when they are not able to do as they expected or to meet their demand, they turn out to be, what they weren't. But you day you're there, then your friend will go piece you money. Wait, if you not get the money, some give the person. If you feel call the person again. But wait, you go check like even if I won't call you up, then I get some panic for my inside say like if I call this person, cry, go piece me money, so make a day my lane. But so that one too, no, I should say like it be
I
needful,
agree. I
say
agree.
mango.
Most of the times when there are these family conflicts at, let's say, especially where we come from, you're being called, let's say Andy and Maya has an issue, you're being called together, elders try to advise you and stuff, you're talking. Like you just said, stay calm. One thing is, do not interrupt too much. Make sure you don't interrupt too much. Allow people to make their point.
Yes.
And when it's time to also, you should also calm down, relax, talk to people's understanding, try to make your point. And I think, yeah, all these can help. All these can help. So I believe we've talked a lot. We've shared our opinions, and it will serve people well, better, and we can all learn something from what we've discussed. Yeah, we are drawing to the close of the show, and well, I'll come back to you again if you have any last words you would like to say to me and the viewers or the listeners. You can just let it flow, Maya.
All right. I just want to say thank you to everyone that made it today. I was supposed to be on this podcast last Thursday, but I wasn't feeling well. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming over here, sharing with us and spending time with us. We really appreciate your time. Yeah. It's going to happen every Monday and every Thursday. So make it a point and be on this platform. That's all that I want to say.
Great. So Andy, great Andy Cole.
Yeah, I would also I think thank everyone who made it up to us, the people in the comment section, everyone who is probably going to listen to us in the future. I'm not sure we could provide concrete whatsoever enough to your satisfaction, but we say that these are the little we could voice out from our head, like freely. And this is also probably my first time. The confidence is not going to be like somebody who is like regular on podcast or other discussion platforms like this. Understand? And yeah, as a family, the most important thing to me is we should be transparent, because like that's part of that part among blacks is really causing a lot. Sometimes I feel like my mom is shopping my kindergarten, and then why is why is she not giving me enough? And then boom, she's also probably using the money. Sometimes it's just, as I said, it's just a little one or two talk. It's just one or two um few words be our catch will be.
Yeah.
this or that, and then become the person, or out of 250, no, I'll be at 200, just give me 50 and I'm done. You
Great,
understand?
great,
If you
great.
say you cry, yeah, I go bore you back.
So yeah. I believe we've all learned a lot, and like Andy was saying, yeah, it's I think we are all beginners in this. I listen to podcasts a lot, but we are all beginners in this. So your confidence level that you're talking about, it was on point. It's okay. We as time goes on, everything will come back itself. So yeah, lovely listeners and viewers, this has been your Ray Talks podcast show. We thank you all for tuning in. I'll thank you very much, and I hope you would join in again next time. Please do not forget to follow me on all platforms. I have the podcast is on all podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Google, what have you. You can name it. It's also on YouTube. It's also on YouTube. I will thank my guest again for joining us. Actually, Miss Maya is my right-hand person. She's going to be a familiar face here. She's going to come on more often with me here. So yeah. So as Andy Cole, Andy will be joining in as time goes on from time to time. Yeah. So yeah,
Right.
thank you all for coming once again, and then see you next time. Thank you for being a part of this episode of the Ray Talks podcast. Kindly support us by subscribing and sharing to family and friends. See you next time.